Hey everyone, I wanted to tell you about my experience as the head photographer in 2015 on the Mr., Miss, and Mrs. World Pakistan competitions. So here we go. Now, before we go on, I do have bad lighting here for the video. Sorry about that. I don't have my lights here, so it's just my phone that we're going to be doing it on. But yeah, I'm not wearing makeup. Really don't care right now. And I'll tell you why I don't care about not wearing makeup on any social media platform.
I wanted to hop on here and talk about my theory on Instagram face because in my opinion, Instagram didn't just change the way that we looked, it rewired what our brain wants.
Betty Davis looks old enough to be my mother, and so dreadfully overweight.
Joan Crawford has slept with every male star at MGM.
Have you ever scrolled through Instagram and felt like everyone kind of looks the same? The sharp contoured nose, the pillow-like lips, the poreless glassy skin. It's almost uncanny. Like we're all auditioning for the same filtered role in the same virtual movie. This look, now famously dubbed the Instagram face, has become the default beauty standard of the digital age. At first glance, scrolling through perfectly filtered selfies can seem harmless, just another part of digital life. But beneath the flawless surface lies a troubling question. What exactly is the cost of chasing digital perfection? First and foremost is the toll on mental health. Studies consistently highlight the troubling connection between filter use and increased anxiety, depression, and even body dysmorphia. The ease and instant gratification of filters create a dangerously addictive cycle. The more we alter appearances digitally, the more dissatisfaction we feel with our real faces. When the reflection in our mirrors no longer matches the image we've carefully constructed online, it can trigger severe distress and a damaging sense of inadequacy.
Glossy, glamorous, effortless. This is what we think of when we see photos on Instagram of some of our favorite celebrities, TikTok stars, and influencers. But is what we're seeing really reality, or is it just a series of filters in Photoshop? From the Kardashian-Jenners and TikTokers like Paige Neiman, no one is above using whatever means necessary to post that perfect pic. Well, now it's time to show the reality behind all that Instagram gloss.
Get everybody together for one photo shoot, it's a lot.
Rihanna Mayer. We have to thank Amsterdam-based vlogger Rihanna Mayer and the other influencer mavens on our list for exposing the truth behind some pretty amazing Instagram photos. She's proving that influencers and celebrities are just like us. This vlogger looks like she's having the time of her life, exposing the truth behind some of her iconic shots. Whether she's posing with her boyfriend, showing off an outfit of the day, or showing what goes into getting that perfect post, Rihanna is here to make you laugh. But also, there's so much more to a photo than meets the eye. Kylie Jenner. You can't even have an Instagram versus reality video and not feature at least one from the Jenner Kardashian clan. But don't worry, this video has two. And while we'll talk about sister Khloe further on, Kylie takes the second spot on our list. Don't even get us started on the horrible use of Photoshop in her photos. Does she not even have the money to at least hire someone to tell her when something looks off? But fans were quick to see the difference between Instagram and reality when the makeup mogul posted this shot and then appeared on a television show looking a lot less like the pic. Forget diamonds. Filters are a girl's best friend. Tana Mongeau. Internet personality and model, Tana Mongeau loves a good red carpet look, and we aren't denying she looks great. What we can't help but point out is that this girl is altering paparazzi photos. There's an original photo out there, girl. You aren't going to pull a fast one on anyone pretending that's how you looked, face filters and all. Tana also loves to cinch in that waist, as is obvious here and here. While she might set up unrealistic expectations, she does at least do a better job with Photoshop than Kylie Jenner. Trisha Paytas. Trisha Paytas, you know you've made it when you've become a meme. This personality has over 2 million followers on Instagram, and it's not hard to see why. Her photos are glamorous, polished, and some would say sexy. But check her out without all the filters, makeup, Photoshop, and airbrushing. Just a normal, pretty girl with a beautiful smile.
Hi everybody, this is Noor Shahryar. I'm Mrs. Pakistan 2015. I'm here for my first photo shoot and I'm very excited. See you guys soon. Bye.
Now, I'm not a videographer, but it's clear that whoever filmed the video you just saw didn't use proper lighting, not even proper natural lighting, because she was in the shade and the shade gave her a very dull color. It's like a cast on her actual complexion, which is quite noticeable. From my perspective, Noor is a natural beauty. As a photographer, I can confidently say I take pride in my work and the photos I capture. And I think the ones that I show here and the ones that I have truly reflect that. During my time working on the Pakistan World Pageants with the contestants, I often had to do significant nighttime editing, including color grading and complexion corrections. However, with Noor, the editing required very minimum compared to the others and compared to other models that I've done, who I've really had to work on their complexions and, their face. She naturally photographs beautifully, which made my job much easier. Beyond that, her personality matches her appearance. She's generally beautiful inside and out. It was an absolute pleasure working with her, and I also had the chance to photograph her husband. They are truly a kind and genuine couple. I was especially impressed to learn that her husband does her makeup. I mean, he has remarkable talent himself.
Disco diva, disco diva, disco diva.
जला दूं While working within the pageants, I witnessed certain situations that I personally didn't feel were honest or acceptable, but who am I? It was especially concerning to see decisions being discussed behind the contestants' backs, including indications that a preferred winner had already been chosen before the competition had even begun. This felt deeply unfair to the contestants, many of whom were putting in tremendous effort and dedication. Wonder had they known the outcome might already be influenced. I believe some may have approached things very differently. Most of the contestants were not only hardworking, but also had genuinely wonderful personalities. I truly enjoyed getting to know them and held a great deal of respect for many of their commitments and characters. I didn't get to know Angelica until after she had already won. I was familiar with most of the other contestants, and she seemed fairly quiet beforehand. However, after her win, I found out that her personality did not align with the image she presented. At one point, Sonia, who is the head of Pakistan World, asked me to do a photo shoot with her by the lakeshore in Ontario, and then drive her to a friend's house afterwards, which was quite a distance from the hotel where I picked her up from. I wasn't being paid for this, but I agreed without hesitation, as I generally try to help, anyone when I can. Unfortunately, the experience was not what I expected. Her attitude came across as a very entitled and difficult young girl to even approach on a human level. After the shoot, we went to lunch with a friend who had joined us, and she simply told me to cover her meal after she didn't have money, which was a bit of a shock, but I did. The way it was said felt very presumptive, as though it was expected, rather than just ask me, "Can you?" She told me to cover her meal. But anyways, throughout the interaction, she carried herself as if she was already the biggest celebrity, which was surprising given the context. A celebrity without money. She also mentioned at the time she had little to no understanding of the Pakistani culture. She lives in the Ukraine and just came to Canada for the pageant. She is also half Ukrainian on her mother's side. I was told that her selection, I wasn't told by her, I was told that by Saya, that her selection was influenced by how she looked, being that she's half Ukrainian, half white, with the belief that this was what would appeal the most to the Pakistani audience. That more than anything gave me the pause and left me reflecting on the overall fairness and authenticity of the process.
Disco diva, disco diva,
जवानी है दीवानी की कर दी है हाँ ओए जवानी है दीवानी की कर दी है हाँ पटाखा जवानी अदाए नवाबी पजामा गुलाबी नशे में जो देखूं तो लगती ये दुनिया गुलाबी गुलाबी मुझे फिर भूल जाए बोतल मुझे फिर भूल जाए बोतल इस रात की जवानी फिर नहीं हो आनी मुझे फिर भूल जाए बोतल मुझे फिर भूल जाए बोतल
I wish I could remember her name because she was truly such a wonderful person to work with. She had a great personality, which made her very easy to connect with and generally enjoyable to be around. What really stayed with me though was the long before the pageant even begun, I already knew because I had been told that she and others were not going to win. And it's hard to watch them put their hearts into this pageant, knowing that that was going to be the outcome. So it was difficult to accept because of the passion they had. You could clearly see their genuine love and appreciation for Pakistani culture. I really enjoyed that day working with her at the Aga Khan Museum during the photo shoot. It was a great experience getting to know, this contestant, and it left a lasting impression on me. I always chose to skip the after parties, and honestly, I'm glad I did. After speaking with one of the entertainers, and even Mr. Pakistan, who also shed some light into things, hearing what really went on behind the scenes and how people were being approached, it only reinforced that decision of mine. I've always been a very down to earth person, and environments driven by ego just don't align with who I am. Sorry. We're living in a time where social media and influencer culture have significantly distorted reality with heavy makeup, digital alterations. The image being presented to the public is often far from authentic. It's created a widespread shift in how people perceive beauty and reality itself. The truth is, when we step outside into the real world, we don't see people who look like what we're constantly shown on our screens. That level of perfection is simply not real. It's curated and edited. There's much more I could share from my experience with these pageants, but I'll leave it here for now. Just something so you can think about.
Okay, well, this is me dead tired today. Messy here. Just going to the post office to pick up my package. Yeah, I should comb my hair, shouldn't I? But I live in a hamlet of 50 people. Trust me, here nobody cares. Like rural Saskatchewan, hamlet of 50 people. I'm okay. Yeah, I know. I should probably clean my windscreen, right? But anyways, I'm just too tired to do the walk. So put on that seatbelt. And they don't clear the snow here. Seriously. I guess even though you pay property taxes with 50 people, actually there's always a guy there, but he's never working. It's never cleared. Only Main Street, where the RM office is cleared. But yeah, my hamlet, rural Saskatchewan, even when I travel, I get so happy because I travel back and forth to Ontario quite frequently. I'm always so happy to be here. Now let's pull up so I can get my package today, which is for hair products, I'm pretty sure.
A rebel move is to be who you want to be. Like, what is beauty? Beauty is subjective. And we don't have to look like the covers of magazines. We don't have to do the industry standard, which everybody was so horrified when I decided I didn't need a glam team for certain events. I'd rather go look at architecture, the museum when I was in Paris. I thought, who's looking at me? I'm clothed from head to toe with these big hats and, this much of my face is sticking out. Is anyone going to really fall over backwards if I'm not wearing makeup? And that's where it started at Paris Fashion Week. And it just sent everybody scrambling around me thinking, no, this is not what people do. And I said, well, that even gives me more reason to do it. And not that it was, world peace or anything, but it was just me challenging myself, thinking, why am I sitting in a makeup chair for 3 hours when no one's looking at me? Like, what am I? And even if they were, why am I doing this? Because this just seems like a habit. And not that I'm opposed to makeup, because I love getting dressed up and glammed up, and I just felt like it was time I had nothing to lose. And I felt I'm not trying to create a persona right now. I'm not trying to be famous. I need to use my position to experiment and open up conversations.
We're living in a time where filters, editing apps, and curated social media feeds have quietly reshaped what people believe is normal. The problem is, most of what we see online isn't real. Faces are smoothed, bodies are reshaped, lighting is perfected, and entire features can be altered with a swipe. Over time, this creates a standard of beauty that doesn't actually exist in real life. For young people especially, this can be incredibly damaging when you're constantly exposed to these perfected images. It's easy to start comparing yourself and feeling like you don't measure up. But what you're comparing yourself is not a real person. It's digitally enhanced version of someone. That's it. The gap between reality and illusion can slowly affect your self-esteem, confidence, and even identity. I mean, studies have shown that heavy social media use is linked to increased levels of anxiety, depression, and body dissatisfaction, particularly among teenagers and young adults. Platforms that rely heavily on image sharing can amplify these effects because appearance becomes the focus of validation, likes, comments, followers. In more serious cases, this pressure can contribute to feelings of isolation, worthlessness, and hopelessness. Mental health organizations have raised concerns about rising rates of depression and self-harming among youth, with social comparison and online image culture being one of the several contributing factors. While social media is not the sole cause, it can absolutely intensify these struggles, especially when young people, feel they can never live up to what they see. The reality is no one looks like their filtered self in real life. Even the people posting those images don't look like that every day. What's being sold is not authenticity, it's an illusion. That's why conversations like this matter. Young people need to understand that their value isn't defined by a screen, a filter, or someone else's highlighted reel. Real beauty is not something that can be edited. It's in individuality, personality, and authenticity. If there's one takeaway, it's this. What you see online is not the standard. It's the exception, and often it's not even real. Anyways, you know what? Like, share, comment. Tell me how you feel about, I know it's a rant, but it's something that, I feel is true, and what I see that a lot of people, a lot of my friends, their kids have also started, having feelings of not being equal, inadequate, a lot of times because of these images that they see that they can't compete with. What's your experience?
How on earth have you managed to stay off social media? I am so jealous.
I think social media is a great tool. It's a wonderful way for people to connect, but I feel personally, I think I'm just too fragile for it. I think I'm too fragile for social media. What do you mean by that? Yeah, I think it's just hard. I'm certainly not immune to, FOMO and all of that. It's hard to look through like other people's lives and not, compare your own